Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I thought it was a hell of a show for coming off of Heat Wave. I didn't expect much, especially how Raw went. But man, Impact. Love the show. Ethan Page kicked things off. You know what I'm saying? But Gamaj, how you felt about it?
I mean, I liked it. I'm
Okay.
still kind of shocked that Ethan still got the belt. But looking at how it turned out, I kind of like that he got the belt now.
Mm.
Like, I do see Trick getting it back. Don't get me wrong, but I do like the shock value of this particular decision right now.
But before I get into it, I want to welcome everybody to the stream. Our normal folks who kick it with us on YouTube and everybody seeing us in Twitter land. If you didn't know, 5 minutes after anything WWE, we are live streaming tonight. Took a little longer because the show went a little long and we wanted to make sure we had all the info to bring it to you. So 5 minutes after Raw, 5 minutes after NXT, 5 minutes after SmackDown, we are streaming live. So if you're on Twitter, swing by YouTube, give us a follow, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. NXT was good tonight. It was coming off Heat Wave. I think the stories, I like when the stories continue and build. And Joe Hendry's a big deal.
Yeah.
Joe Hendry is, I mentioned Jericho on the Raw recap. When he came, he didn't say anything. We've not seen Joe Hendry wrestle at all in NXT, and he was trending more than the Wyatt Six and the Bloodline, Jacob Fatu. The week he just popped up on NXT for a few seconds. So when he was in the Battle Royal
he got eliminated first.
That's all we saw of him, and he was the biggest viewed video since like WrestleMania or something. So Joe Hendry is a big deal, and he made an appearance tonight on NXT.
Yeah, it was dope. You know, Ethan Page kicking things off. He was talking a little. It's the ego era. Right?
Ego era.
The ego era. The Trick era. So
terrible shirt, by the way. Terrible shirt.
You know, and that's I agree. Then we get Sean Spears come out. Then we get Javon Evans coming out. So it's basically the fatal four-way type of deal. They get into a altercation, and we got Trick and Javon on the inside. They clean house, and you got Ego and Spears on the outside.
Javon Evans was talking spicy. I like it.
I like it too. He what's his thing? Is bouncy time? What's his little slogan or whatever? I definitely want to see more of him, but unfortunately, Brooks Jensen came through tonight and he changed the whole card up because he had a little talking to with Ava, and he decided he wanted to make an impact. So what he do? He beats up Javon Evans.
Unfortunately, that takes him out of the whole story he was just in because they're going to pivot in that direction. And I saw Ava. He was talking about. I didn't know he was a second generation wrestler. Because talking to Ava, he was saying, "I know you understand." I'm like, Ava don't understand. You know who her daddy is.
LeBron James, Bronny James type of treatment. You know what I mean?
And I don't think we'll ever see The Rock's daughter actually wrestle, to be honest. So
yeah, I don't even know.
That's not what we here for tonight. We here for NXT Heat Wave Aftermath. Yeah, I don't think people understood why Ethan Page is the champ, but they'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, I mean, moving through the card though, because we got it. We had the tag team split with Carmen Petrovic, Ariana Grace, and then the Heritage Cup. So I want to kind of go with those two things just real quick. Gamaj, how was you feeling about either one of those?
See, when it comes to the Heritage Cup, it hasn't been something that's been like I've been a fan of personally. So I'm not gonna lie, it didn't do that much for me. I don't know if it's because it's always been for a trophy rather than a belt. I don't know if that's what it is about it that makes me not like it as much. But I was like more so this is cool in my mind, but I don't know if it's because it's only a trophy and not a belt. That's how I felt about it.
Right.
So you put more stock on titles, like actual belt. You think that's just more your thing?
Well, for when it comes to me watching wrestling, like any of the wrestling shows, brands, it's always going to be a belt for me. Trophies to me, if this was the Olympics, okay, cool. It's not what I'm watching.
I think by me
I'm
being
just,
like
I'm just being real.
a huge New Japan fan, the cups and all that stuff makes sense to me. Petrovic, her gear is fire. That We the North gear is crazy.
Yeah.
And again, the NXT women's division is they have a lot of talented women down there right now. I think I want to say they have more women wrestlers than men. Maybe
It feels like they do because
It's what it feels like.
It feels like it could be even. It could be a couple more guys, but it definitely feels like the women. It almost feels like a women's show with a couple guys. You know what I'm saying? Like typically you got more males than females, but it feels like, oh, we got some guys down here in developmental too. Let me show you them. Versus the opposite way we were normal, because all the females down there is really tearing up. They had a decent match. Carmen got the win. I ain't gonna hold you. I like the Heritage Cup. Now, someone's gonna probably put in the comments, you said you don't like speed. I don't. But when
it's not the same thing at all.
Right, but
that's different. That's completely
it's still the 3-minute time limit deal, right? But it's 3 minutes with multiple rounds, and people are trying to sneak wins, and then as it goes on, you know what I mean? Especially if you get an early quick win or quick roll up or something like that. So it makes
a lot of the fans, they might not know this, but you have a boxing background. Do you think it's because of your boxing background? You like the rounds, 3-minute rounds, and you win the round, you win the match type deal, or it's just you like the format?
I think it could be a little bit of both, right? Because in professional wrestling, you don't typically see those things, especially not at the WWE, right? But because they're doing it this way, it's like a weird type of Iron Man match. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's like 2 out of 3 falls, but it's not 2 out of 3 falls. We're adding speed to this. Don't get caught with a quick L. And then as time runs out, it just restarts. No one won that round. And it's like, I think 5 rounds or 6 rounds. Like,
I like the Heritage Cup.
I do too. And that's what makes me like it, because it's fast paced, but with the round, it's not like speed where it's just one 3-minute match and that's it.
So Gamaj, if the Heritage Cup wasn't the Heritage Cup, but it was the Heritage Cup format, but you had the speed title as the end goal, do you think you would like that more?
yes.
You just like
And again,
belts.
I think it's because of it's not even that. So you see how you mentioned New Japan, right? With the G1, because with the G1, that's once a year. So I feel like that's what makes it more prestigious than when I look at the Heritage Cup.
That
so
you
maybe
see
if it was like
now on NXT,
right? Because
well, it's
everything
kind of
else,
like
I
the
do like the
underground match.
format
The
of it and all
underground
that.
match we were seeing every week, and now that they made it somewhat of a specialty, the underground match is not bad. So, but we'll see. But Tony D'Angelo, I said he was never losing that cup, and I don't think he is.
I'm over here talking to some little people, midgets. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, it's all good.
Yeah, do what you got to do.
His HPs, you know what I'm saying? That's all. But yeah, I agree with both of y'all. I think if Speed did the Heritage, like all the matches in Speed were a Heritage Cup, you know what I'm saying? And that's how you became the Speed champ. I would really like Speed, because the 1 3-minute round doesn't satisfy me to where I can believe, okay, now these guys are they're on the main roster, they're having 15, 20-minute matches, and all of a sudden they can just
I just think Speed either devalues the 10, 20, 30-minute match, or the 20, 30-minute match makes Speed not make sense.
Right.
Because if I can do this in 3 minutes, why does it take me 40 minutes just on Sunday?
Right, exactly.
Right.
But when you have the Heritage Cup and it's rounds, you're getting to that 15-minute mark. So you're like, I could get a sneak 2 quick count, but the match ain't over. Now you try not to, you know what I'm saying? So
but we know what Speed is. It's really for social media. Like
it is.
That's what it is. So,
and if you like it, I'm not gonna knock it too much, because maybe one day it'll grow on me. But you know, it is what it is. Then you got the Gallus, Tyson DuPont, Tyreek, whatever. Anyway, Gallus looked strong. They ran off. I wasn't. Some of these matches when I watch these guys, I'm like, okay, I see why you're in developmental. You got some talent, but it still needs to be fleshed out. So that's good. I like Gallus though. And I thought Gallus like, hey, we're just, you know, we're going through the motions. And certainly we were, because Gallus bumping forward. Wesley does his promo tonight about, you know, what he's going to do. Basically, he was going to quit the company. And then we get a Rascals reunion. You know what I mean? They're back from TNA. Well, they're not even back. They're still with TNA. So
that promo was not good.
Correct.
It was not good. Wesley looked like Keith Lee, and I rate that promo 2 out of 10. Like, get out of it. It just wasn't good. It wasn't good. And the Rascals thing, once all that stuff happened with Nash Carter, because that's what it happened with, and he got released, and the allegations of abuse and the pictures with him and Hitler, like, I was done with them. So I just don't know how I feel about a Rascals reunion on NXT and WWE after all the stuff that happened with him. So
yeah, I think when you bring that up, it's like, yeah, the crowd loved it. And when was going back to my point, next week we're gonna get Gallus versus the Rascals. So it was like, oh, okay, now you got Gallus looking strong. Let's see what happens with the Rascals reunion. It was really loved. It's floating around on Twitter right now.
But what they did was they took Javon Evans out of the title picture and they took Wesley out of the title picture. He's back with doing tag stuff. So, you know, we'll see. It's just weird to see them back in NXT. I think they're just gonna kind of take the TNA crossover thing with WWE and get what they can out of it. And I won't be surprised if we see the Hardy Boys pop up sooner or later in NXT, just to kind of round out their career, because they are both in TNA right now. And the crossover, so far the crossovers have been great. Jordan Grace, I liked when she was there. The Jordan Grace matches were good. Joe Hendry, we don't know what's happening with Joe Hendry, but something's happening with Joe Hendry. He is like the most overdue not in the WWE right now, and they believe in Joe Hendry. It's just a lot. The TNA crossover, hopefully we'll get more, but I do believe at some point we'll get to see the Hardy Boys again in the WWE.
Speaking of which, too, oh man, I don't want to have to. Yes, I don't want to play with. See, this is why I hate going on phones. I like my laptop, but you be playing with the comments, so I ain't even about to. I mean, yes, yeah. But TNA's got a crossover this Thursday. I'm trying to think of who it was, but it's in my phone. But I ain't trying to mess with it because I'll drop you know what I mean. I ain't trying to drop out. So
I want to touch on the Nash Carter thing for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think a lot of time wrestling fans are forgiving, and I don't like when it's selective forgiveness for certain things. We saw Hulk Hogan get taken out of the Hall of Fame. We saw him removed from stuff. We've seen people who don't get second chances for things, and some people do. That whole Me Too movement, the speaking out movement in wrestling, it did a lot of damage to companies and people's and careers. And I think time has passed and people starting to forgive some people for some of these things we found out about them in their personal lives. I just think it's weird.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna say that Hulk Hogan's a wild boy. I'll leave it at that, right? I don't know what to believe with this dude no more. I don't put nothing past.
I'm not a fan of people making apologies but not apologizing, or saying they weren't aware of something or didn't know something. In the time we live in, there's no reason to say you didn't know something. So it's just a weird thing what happened with him. HP having a party over there, man. What's going on, HP?
Yeah, so what's wild is I ain't have a chance to get all my cups together, so I'm trying to get it all together now.
Oh, you got the
They done
bartender.
brought me I seen Joe Henry. I had to pack a lunch. You know what I mean? So like, they done brought me a thermos like I'm some old. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm somebody's grandparent. You know what I mean? I'm not even about to open it.
Somebody trying to take you out.
Bro, I haven't seen. Only people who work at plants have thermos from the 1980s. Like, you got a thermos, you got a fanny pack. There's like certain things to go, and you wear construction Tims, not even the double sole joints. You wear the one sole, the ones that nobody wear, but real construction workers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a stand. I ain't gonna say what it is, but anyway, I do agree with you with some of the selective outrage about things, and I do think time heals all wounds, depending on the wound. I'm happy to see the Rascals back together a little bit, just for purposes of Wes Lee. I don't know why he's talking about quit the company. Just restart. I mean, that was all kayfabe, whatever. But what are you gonna do?
That's how Wes Lee's gonna cut promos. He will never make it on the main roster.
It's bad, and this is why I say this about the people who sound like they're reading prompts from like.
And I rewatched that Lola Vice promo. You were correct about that too.
Yeah, it's like they're not. I mean, it's like they're trying to remember. Now, this is why they're still developmental, so it's not a problem. But sometimes it can be real bad. Like it's like really just like pulling teeth, So he's got to work on his character. Whether it's like,
I don't think he had to try to get sympathy. Just go out there and talk. See, because Ethan Page, they wasn't trying to hit nothing Ethan Page was saying tonight. But what did he do? He talked through it. He went out there and did. You don't have to try to get sympathy. People were already sympathetic. You were hurt, Wesley. You dropped your title. You came back. You just lost to Oba. You could just came out there and cut a promo. Rascals come out. It would have worked. You over already. When you try to be over, it is some bad acting. That's what it was. It wasn't like a legit from the heart promo. Because when he had to quit, that hit people in the chest. Tonight, nah, that wasn't it.
You might as well do the thermos. What about the cucumber joint with the black joint? It's in the refrigerator. Because I like to have all my drink. I like to have my joints. No, chill out. Hold on.
Yeah, your mic was not muted. Attitude era, folks. You never know what's gonna happen over here.
Thank you. I do appreciate it, especially if you get my black joint though. I gotta put that in there. Simple, like he's just so not respectful. Yes, I am. That's my son. You know what I'm saying?
Remember to tip your bartenders.
Yeah, but going back to that promo deal, what do you think? Because a lot of them have this thing where they're just like, tonight, I just can't do it anymore, guys. And you're just looking like, man, just talk, right? Just talk. But they also have to speak, and I noticed this with like, I don't know when it started, but they speak in spurts. I don't know if Steve Austin started it when he got the crowd going, what?
Because they're waiting for the crowd to react versus just getting the reaction. Like you're waiting, like you're saying something to get a reaction. Like, I came here tonight with a lot to say. Like, I came here tonight with a lot to, like, it's bad. And we know, like, unfortunately, main roster, I want to say 60% of your success might depend on promos and personality.
Facts. Matter of fact, maybe more than that, because we've seen people, if you can cut a good promo, The Rock don't have crazy classics out the yin yang. He's good, but you know what his
personality, his charisma, his mic skill. That's my CM Punk point. People love CM Punk for everything but wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you look at Ric Flair, if you ignore his wrestling, most people connected with him through his promos, not so much his wrestling. Not saying he was a bad wrestler.
Ric Flair said I had 4 moves: a chop, a suplex, a woo, and a figure 4.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna hold you.
Well, you Gamaj yourself. You just did an interview with Gilbert, which is on the Attitude Era channel, I believe, as we speak.
Yes, it is.
Gilbert was an over character based on personality and what he did.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know. It just some people just again the whole Ricochet thing. It's some people just it's just they don't connect with the people. And unfortunately, you can wrestle as good as anybody in the world, but in today's day and age, if you can't cut a promo, if you can't connect, you can't talk, it's just not going to work.
Because at the end of the day, I be you crystal clear. We all, hey, I
this the
believe
Attitude Era podcast. HP, we had a conversation about a tag team that was over that should have never worked. The New Age Outlaws.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Road Dogg skill set. I mean, his move set, not skill set. I'm sorry.
His move set. Yeah. I know what
was,
you meant though. But
his move set wasn't. It wasn't. You know what I'm saying?
It
wasn't great. It wasn't. His finisher was a pump handle slam.
Bro,
but
my man was. My man was decent at best, bro.
Decent, but on that mic,
killer.
I saw Enzo and Cass do the whole thing without a microphone one time.
Yeah.
They didn't have to. The crowd just, he's 7 foot tall and you can't. They was made before they came up to the main roster based on a promo.
And then they both was fucking up. Old boy went off
Enzo damn near died in the ring.
They told old boy Cass, the big 7 foot dude, do not beat up. I think it was Hornswoggles, one of the midgets, right? You're just gonna do whatever you're gonna do.
Midget in 2024?
Why you can't say midget?
I don't know.
Oh well, he's mid. Get and then you put them shit together. That's what him was.
That was not better.
I said him like so. This way he had a pronoun. I got the pronoun, so he was a mid get. Mids get short, and that's what he was. Highly short. He was vertically challenged.
So who do you know off top right now? I know we got to go through the rest of the card.
Oh yeah,
people watching. I want to know what wrestlers you think of immediately. Promos got them over. Like I said, Road Dogg, perfect example.
I'm gonna give you one from the upside down, right? Like from the Stranger Things universe. One who had such horrible promo that it got him over. And that's the Ultimate Warrior. As soon as you said it, none of his shit ever made sense. But you were a kid, he had the colors, he had the entrance, and he'd start saying, "Get the gas from the light." I heard a promo with him and Macho Man today, and I was like, holy shit. This shit is with the skeletons, and we don't have flesh on our bones.
You know who got over for doing that too?
You know? Yeah, he did. They love putting the mic in his hand. People love hearing him.
And Scott Steiner.
They don't like putting a microphone in Scott Steiner's hands. He could talk though, but you better be careful about putting a microphone in his hands. Even his brother had to check him at the Hall of Fame joint because Braun Breaker
said it too. He's like, giving me a live mic, like giving it to my Uncle Scott. So again, some people the promos like me. I'm gonna tell you, I love the Sharknado movies. HP, you might hate me. You the Marvel man, you the movie man, you the critic.
It's a cult classic thing, so I get it.
Sharknado is so bad.
Yeah, that's true. It is.
That is good.
Yeah, it's exactly. That's why people. I don't watch it, but I get why people do it. Yeah, you ain't coming there. You got to turn your brain off. That's what my son tells me. We go to certain movies. Dad, I'm gonna let you know now. Well, he don't call me Dad. He be like, Pops. I'll be like, Pops, turn your brain off. I'd be like,
or like suspend your disbelief because that shit you ain't gonna fuck with.
Like I said, some people need to just promos is just not their strong suit, and everybody can't have a Paul Heyman in their corner. So, moving on from the Rascals, what we had.
Speaking of that, right? So we had I don't know why I said speaking of that, like I'm about to say something about that, but Izzy Dame and Thea Hale, decent little match. Talking about those females earlier, like the female dominant card. Chase, you out here pulling victories. You had Tatum Paxley trying to interfere. And it really cost Izzy Dame the match because
Tatum just did the TNA crossover, right? I'm seeing a lot of Tatum Paxley these days. I don't know what's the plan for her. She reminds me of Paige a little bit. She got a little Shotzi Blackheart in her. Like Tatum, she got a little Gigi Dolan in her. We've seen Gigi and she's hurt. So Tatum, they might have plans for Tatum Paxley. Because she's kind of like the it girl right now. She get a lot of screen time, and for them to send her to TNA, that meant something.
When you say it like that, yeah. Gamaj, hold on, Gamaj. What's your, you know what I'm saying? We gotta squeeze something out of Gamaj. Gamaj over there leaning on that background. I see you over there with the big eagle joint.
That's the interview man. You know, he only talk to wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? Gamaj is doing us a favor.
Listen, man.
He's doing us a favor. If you ain't a wrestler or Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Rhea Ripley, like I said, he just did the Gilbert interview.
Look, all I'm
you know what I'm saying?
All I'm gonna say is I know when I gotta play the background, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
If you ain't on a 2K24 roster, WWE, he don't want to talk to you.
I gotta put myself for roster. I bet. I see how you is, Gamaj.
That's you know.
But
if we was Boys to Men, he deep voice. He gonna talk at some point.
That's okay. Next week though, because Duke Hudson's in the ring with cheering on his peoples. Okay. But Obafemi come out because they made a match for Duke Hudson versus Obafemi next week. I want to see it. I expect Oba to walk through this man. Not walk through.
Obafemi's undefeated, right?
I think since being champion, yes.
Gamaj, you met Bailey, right?
Yeah.
No. Oh, you did?
Yeah. See, I'm telling you. See, Chris, in the comments, Chris Gamaj, he like that. That's the man. We send him out on assignments, mission to do interviews, and that's the perks of his position. So he's met Bailey, and for what I understand, he had a good time.
This man ain't gonna lie.
Well, but Gamaj, when you do meet these people, because I go off the rail sometimes. We here to talk. It's added to our podcast, the Archie Carter, King HP, Gamaj. Just chopping it up, NXT recap and all things wrestling. When you meet these people, Gamaj, like how do you? Okay, your most recent picture I saw was Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, right?
Yes.
How do you feel like when you're gonna meet these people, talk to them, interview, photo, whatever it is, and you're sharing space with these people? What are you nervous? Like how does that feel? Like I want to know because I've met some people, but I ain't Gamaj level.
So I would say the first few times it is nervous. It is a nerve-wracking a little bit.
Time out.
But
time out. Did you say you take Tums?
No.
Oh.
He said the first few times it was nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You put a U in your times? First you Tums? Like
I ain't saying Tums.
It sounded like I heard Tums. Like you be popping them things because you're
No.
Hey, he ain't got them old man problems yet. He ain't got them problems yet.
That's fire though. Go ahead. I just thought I thought I heard. Let me pull this back a little bit.
No, like the first couple of times it was, but once you just treat them like regular, like honestly, it's not that bad, and they actually appreciate that more.
Yeah, because they get to kind of be the human part, not the entertainment. I get it. Because in my time in radio, I talked to Barack Obama. He was running for president. I talked to, I was on that 50 Cent run when he was 10 million sold, Get Rich or Die Trying. I've never really been like super duper starstruck. But meeting wrestlers is kind of different because these are people we watch growing up as kids and we're fans of. And who would be the one wrestler you would meet that you were like, you got to take a step back and fanboy out a little bit?
I'm going to tell you one right now who I did do that to. That was Sting.
That makes sense.
Because when I met Sting, I ain't going to hold you. He had the whole makeup, the ring gear, all of that.
It's like It's like I met LeBron James, and that was like unreal to me. I think if I ever met like Snoop Dogg, that's like my brain might not believe what it's seeing, like in person.
That should start buffering on you.
Because Snoop Dogg's like he's not real to me. He's like a cartoon, like he's like a real person. And if you meet him, it's like, oh, this is unbelievable. HP, who would you meet that your brain might have to take time, the process that you're actually meeting this person?
I don't know. I honestly would think it would be
I don't know what's about to come out your mouth, because you might say the ringmaster at the Universal Circus or something, because
for me it would probably be like it's not gonna happen because they died already. You know what I'm saying? For like me, it would be like Tupac.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like, but they're dead and gone. So like, rest in peace. So like,
I was gonna say Chadwick because you're a huge Marvel guy, but he passed away too. So
not even them, because they do so many roles. Now, if I met them, I would be more impressed to meet like Stan Lee.
But he passed away too.
Yeah.
But he passed away. So like, because I'm working on a comic book. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, these actors are dope. But when I see actors, I'd be like, Denzel probably be dope. But then there's like also people like I do reading, and I'm, you know what I'm saying, I have a lot of Pan-African. So like I can meet like John Henrik Clark passed away as well though. So it's like, and I would fan out a little bit because that's like a master level teacher is so.
So Dr. Umar is your guy.
I can chill with Dr. Umar, but to fan out probably as far as wrestlers,
who would have you not like, okay, like I need to watch what I say, like you might not be able to speak, like who would have you like in shock, like standing in front of you?
To be honest, it would probably be Shawn Michaels. Only because he was
I can respect that, yeah.
Yeah, I grew up idolizing, but damn near idolizing him as far as wrestling. Like, he kept me into wrestling. And for like I told you the story, like when I broke my hip, it was the day before WrestleMania 12, March 30th. You know, I was supposed to see him fight Bret Hart in an Iron Man match, but my dumb ass, you know what I'm saying, jumping over Fisher Price basketball hoops, slipped. My legs went out from under me as I landed in the grass, and my sister had me lay there for hours. So like,
your sister had you laid there for hours? You didn't get you help?
When I was doing this shit when nobody was home except for her. So like,
HP, the most interesting man in the world, ladies and gentlemen, King HP. All Preezy. Anybody in the chat, who would you meet like that you were a fan out of? Could be a wrestler. Wrestlers first. Like, if you get first wrestler, who would you meet that you might fan out over, or anybody that might have you just in shock? So,
and I ain't gonna lie too. Sean is very much like, with my whole previous career and all that, like, not like I was a heartthrob, you know what I'm saying, but like I did my numbers, and we trying to like work hard to play harder, you know what I mean, type of mentality. And it seemed like that's what he was, because all the stories of his first run up from like the mid to late 90s, you know what I'm saying, it was in ring work was impeccable, outside the ring piece of shit, asshole, you know what I mean, hard to work with, super conceited. And that was kind of like me. Like, I was coming through the ranks, you know what I'm saying, and it was you know what I mean, I was good at what I did. So yeah, very
our lifestyle might don't make it.
Yo, there's a lot of places I should have been left. Anyway, but back to the
go ahead.
We get OTM versus
about to tell on itself
and Carl Anderson. You know what I mean? Because I started my brain started buffering. That's what happened. I started thinking about the 23 years I was, you know what I mean? But I'm tired of this shit. I said it on one of these things about Carl and Luke. They always fucking losing.
I love the Bullet Club. I love Gallows and Anderson. I love the OC. I love Machine Gun Carl Anderson, because in New Japan, he's that guy. I love Luke Gallows. But I said this a few shows ago. The OC, for the first time to me, they start looking like the old guys in the building. Not saying that they're old, but it's a lot of fresh, new, young energy in the WWE that they don't need to be associated with, because beating the OC doesn't put anybody over.
No. And here's another thing, going to exactly what you said too. They're not even taking L's on the main roster. You're in development. Now, again, WWE's developmental is a little different. AEW does about 3. At best, they were doing like 500,000 views. Like, that was a good show for them. Yeah. And NXT bad shows do 700,000 to the high. Well, bad shows do low 700s, high 600s, and like thousands of views, right? So when you think about that gap disparity, NXT is like its own thing. It's really like not WWE, but it so much is obviously.
If the OC is down there and they working with these guys and girls behind scenes, on moves, on promos, I get it. But we don't need to see them in front of the camera losing every week. Losing, it does nothing. You know who else is doing
It
this
makes him
too
look
right
weaker
now?
and weaker every time.
It's Rey Mysterio. I said this again. The rub is not there. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
Rey
you're not even.
Mysterio is taking some brutal. He's having some matches, doing things. I don't think his body likes him for the next day. But it's like it's too much new, fresh, young energy in the company for this to be happening to certain people. Now, if the OC was on a run and they were smashing things, I could see the younger talent trying to chase them because okay, they are the vets, they are the guys who've been doing it. They've been champions around the world. You mean you could win anywhere in the world but NXT?
You know what? This makes me think of like a good way that a superstar that was able to do this, but they were able to put superstars over and still get wins, and they would lose certain matches. Was Shawn Michaels. His whole comeback was nothing but putting people over, but also never looking like. Think about it. He had the one world championship run that was 1 month. He won it in the Elimination Chamber, and then next month he lost it to Triple H in a 3 Stages of Hell match, and they always marketed Shawn as the guy for ladder matches. But that motherfucker lost damn near every ladder match he was in.
You know who's good at putting people over? Who's good at putting people over even when they won the match? The Undertaker. He had some matches where he won, but that shake the hand, raise the hand at the end thing, that meant something. And I think that started with Jeff Hardy.
Oh, I think you're talking about towards the end of his career. I see that. I can see that. I think the best guy was Shawn. He let Bautista get a win clean at one of their 2005 pay-per-views when he was on the come up. But then like John Cena, right? John Cena beats him at WrestleMania 23, but the week before on Raw, they wrestled non-title match going into that 53 minutes. 53 fucking minutes. Great match. And because you might as well call it an Iron Man. I remember this because I was like, God damn, why is this match starting so early? What the hell are they about to do?
Whole hour.
And they went, and I'm like,
I can't think of nothing I can do for an hour. Oh, the silence tells me everything I need to know about you.
Age is kicking. I can think of hey, God damn it. But that was my brain buffering. But I'm just sick of seeing these guys lose. But Mission, another negative point I'm about to bring up, but also a positive point.
I was going to talk about. Yeah, I was going to bring it up too. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Because I'm tired of this shit too. Bouncing up and down main rosters, taking out. Even though tonight she was just getting in that fight with Jada Parker, which I like because I like their little rivalry.
Jada just beat you
in a street fight, but you coming back for more, and they had a great match. So I'm down to see it some more. Oh, it's not done? Oh, nah, I'm about to beat your ass. I bet I'm with it. Fuck
so does that mean Jada is enhancing Mi Chin?
What you think? You said you had something to say anyway about it.
It's like my thing with Mission in general. You got that, and then she's got like her own thing in SmackDown. So it's like I'm confused. I'm super confused with her placement right now. Like
she's like on every show.
Talk to him.
Like if I remember last time when she was, did she get popped when she was helping Bayley? And then on NXT she was getting booed a little bit. So I'm like, is she face on SmackDown and heel on NXT? How that work?
That I didn't even think about that part. I was tired of her. She went up against Nia Jackson. I'm always allude to that North American 6-woman ladder match. We're picking predictions, and I was like, it's weird because they're marketing Machine versus Nia Jax, who just won Queen of the Ring. I don't see why you would put her in harm's way. So
and here she goes in harm's way.
It's like,
and she's a part of the OC. Maybe it's just an OC thing right now that they just like, we really don't know what to do with y'all.
Well, since the OC losing, you losing too. You better get away from them old dudes.
And AJ just took 2 losses, so
yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but
at least AJ got a 5-star. match at least.
I don't know what's going on. Like I said again, but Michin,
But
but
the world title match too. So let's at least give him his credits. You're gonna take them L's.
Yeah.
The match is the place to do it.
Yeah, it wasn't in NXT.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think
they take L's on pay-per-views. Remember they were at that like hot dog stand, that food court.
The merch, yeah, the merch stand. Like y'all
getting beat up in a man. I'm just tired of it, man. Just retire and just help these people back for real. Because like OTM, there was a good spot in that match where Bronco held up Luke Gallows for like 20 seconds in a suplex. Like,
Luke ain't little.
It ain't little. It reminded me of the British Bulldog in his younger days back when he fought for the IC belt at Wimbledon and you know, in his better days. You know what I mean?
Bro, Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog, was unreal to me as a child. Like,
yeah, it was to me because it was a white dude with cornrows, bro. I just thought
and a little French bulldog, and like, bro, Davey Boy Smith was that was something I've never seen in my life. He was White Iverson before Post Malone.
Yeah, that's why and he had the beads.
Yeah.
The British Bulldog was incredible to see as a kid. Again, that's my Lex Luger point. Some of these people you see as children, and then, like I said, to meet them one day in real life, that's like surreal. But I ain't mean to cut you off. OTM, Luke Gallows.
Oh, nah. Please do, because I don't want to go on my tangent.
Know what I don't like about NXT right now? It's a lot of factions. It's a lot of 3-man woman groups in NXT. It's Chase U, it's Metaphor, it's OTM, it's
Luke Gallows.
I can't call the name right now. You could call it the club if you want. You have, and it's just so many groups right now because they have a lot of people on the roster.
Did you say Gallus?
Didn't say Gallus.
Yeah. And then so just put the Rascals back together.
That's 7, so it's at least 10. We could say at least 10 that we can name.
Like we're forgetting some.
So let me ask you this: do you think NXT has too many, but the main roster doesn't have enough?
I don't know, Gamad, because they slowly pick and cherry pick a few here, a few there from the from NXT. But then what do you do with them? Only one that's really been active is like Lyra Valkyria, Fire and Dawn, and maybe a few others, but why have Carmelo Hayes been #1 draft pick and do not much with him? So the people that you expect to hit the main roster, think about it. Ciampa and Gargano just now getting on a hot run, and how long they've been removed from NXT.
Yeah,
it's just I think the main rosters have the same moving parts. NXT have a lot of moving parts, and it's just tough to kind of figure this out when you have these deep rosters. And like we said earlier, it may be more women superstars in NXT than men, because all these groups I named have like a woman in the group.
So it's funny, right? WWE always does this when they make one faction. When the Hart Foundation, I'm going back to the Attitude Era, literally, right? When the Hart Foundation, it was British Bulldog, Owen, Jim Danville, Neidhart, and Brett, right? And they called Shawn Michaels, who at the time he had brought in Rick Rude because he was going against The Undertaker for the first time. That was happening. And Undertaker's rival, Mankind, was going against Triple H, and it kind of brought them together because they're rivals. They were doing Raw matches against each other's rival, and so it brought them together. They called them Degenerates. You know, Triple H had China, and then you had the Nation of Domination also, right? So it's like, but then you also had, what other groups were, oh my gosh, there was like Right to Censor, and then there was like the Oddities. It was like all these groups. When they go groups, they go groups. It's never like one group running dominant. It's like maybe it's one group running dominant, but several other groups too. You know what I mean? So if NXT is doing it, it's because it's the Shawn Michaels way. And he was raised under Vince McMahon's roof. You know what I mean? When you have one faction, you can't, that would be too dominant. Everyone needs to group up. Because again, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Damn, they got 3 people. They beating everybody down. well, we got to form something. You know what I mean? And it's just
that's happening on the main roster too. Right now, you got a bunch of groups. You got Judgment Day, Bloodline, Wyatt Six, Shayna Baszler. Them just formed a group. Damage Control is a group. It's
final.
just Alpha Academy's a group. There's just a lot of groups right now. Again, it could be because the rosters are so deep. The Pride is a group. Again, you keep mentioning, what does B-Fab do? She's there. She's part of the group. The OC is a group. They're still there. It's just a lot of grouping, maybe because the rosters are really big right now. They're just deep.
That might be what it is.
Yeah, I think it's that, but then I also feel like when you have a faction, it makes it for some people, it makes it easier to remember who's who. So it adds more popularity and notoriety. Even though it's a whole group, that person will still stand out. Even when they decide to break them out, you'll be like, yo, I remember this person from this faction when they broke them out. Now they have that start to build up on. Because when you look at some of the legends who did it, like Nation of Domination, do you think The Rock pops off the way he does if he wasn't a Nation of Domination? Does Triple H pop off the way he does if DX didn't form?
I think those may be unique. I see what you're saying, because that was turns for people in their career. That was a turn for The Rock. Like, he turned. He was a white meat babyface. He turned with the Nation. These groups aren't really doing much for the character work of these people that's in them. Again, HP asks every episode, what does B-Fab do? He, what does being in the Judgment Day really do for JD McDonough?
Actually,
they finally got him a tag belt.
Shout out to Shinobi. It does a lot, because we wouldn't even be talking about JD McDonough if he wasn't in the.
But I'm saying, when that's over, we won't be talking about him. I don't see it being a lasting thing. Nation of Domination was interesting because D-Lo was over on his kind of own. Rocky was Rocky, Godfather, like the Mark Henry. These were people who characters, they were becoming something. But it's just a lot of groups and people in groups, and I don't know. I don't know.
I hear you. I ain't gonna really deny it, because Vinny Andretti, he said he want to see B-Fab in the ring more. I do too, but
I've only seen her wrestle a few times though.
She might be fragile. She might be one of them people that gets hurt a lot, or maybe they don't trust her with ring
Even
work.
when she was with Hit Row, it wasn't a lot of in ring. She's more like a manager than an actual.
But here's my thing: if you're not grabbing the mic, like, managers should either be mouthpieces for people, or they are like, like Sable, right? Sable wasn't very talkative, but she was there for the look, and whoever she was attached to was getting over. Sensational Sherry, she could talk, so you put her with some people, and she was getting them over. Because
what I meant? I meant valet.
Oh, managers are good for heels because your manager can help you cheat. But when you're a good guy and you have a manager, no bueno. What is he gonna cheat for you? You're the fucking face. What are you cheating for? So it's like, Sensational Sherry did it for Sean, got him over. Sexy Boy came out with a sexy chick. Yeah, she was sexy to a lot of people back then.
HPB bugging sometimes.
I just wanted to check myself. Like, I didn't really like her like that because I thought her voice was annoying. But like, she was a pretty woman.
It worked because she was the total opposite of Shawn Michaels.
She actually was able to bring that out of Shawn too, because
that's what I'm saying.
So let me say this: does it have to be specifically heels, or do the manager and the wrestler have to be somewhat of opposites? Because Miss Elizabeth, she managed Macho Man, and Macho Man wasn't heel when she was managing him, at least for a good point of his career.
That bitch was a heel. Rest in peace. Like, she didn't.
Whoa.
I'll never forgive her for this, because I was a Macho Man fan and I thought it was wild, and I was little. And as I growing up, I look back. She was the Macho Man's person. She didn't let Hulk Hogan get all close to her. She Yeah, then he running behind her and Macho Man, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, if that was that man's wife, now we know the lady got married.
Didn't Hogan carry her out the ring or something?
Yeah, left my man
Macho
to
Man,
fight. Left my
Macho
man
Man
to
ain't
fight.
like that shit.
That whole long ass walk back to the dressing room, you should have been like, go back. Go back. She ain't say shit. She was a heel, but because she was pretty at the time, the way they was doing managers, we was like, oh, Miss Elizabeth. Macho Man was getting stomped out in the ring. And nobody gave a fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm only mad because I was a Macho Man fan. And I'm like, damn, I wanted to cry. I was like 4 or 5 years old. Like, damn, why that? And then Hogan, and he, oh my God, I used to hate Hulk Hogan. I was so happy when Ultimate Warrior beat his ass. He didn't really beat his ass. But I just felt like she was always this heel because all the wrestlers, like, she got him over, obviously.
The only babyface manager I could think of was like Jimmy Hart.
Shit, he was cheating for motherfuckers too.
Yeah, he was heel as a motherfucker. I ain't going
But
for
it was funny because in WCW, when he got back with Hogan, he was like, that was a babyface run. And he had a manager. So
was Paul Bearer a babyface manager?
Yeah, but he was doing the talking. He wasn't cheating. He was talking for the Undertaker. Oh, Undertaker. Rest in peace. Remember when he first came in, he really wasn't talking.
Right.
Yeah, he just was walking to the ring and wrestling.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. After Paul Bearer, oh my creatures of the night. Da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? So he did the talking. So you have to be a mouthpiece, or you have to be cheating, or both, right?
Who's the greatest manager of all time?
Right now, in my mind, the first guy that pops off, there's two people: Bobby Heenan and Jim Cornette. I mean, not Jim Cornette. I'm sorry, Bobby Heenan and Paul Heyman.
Heenan is a tough out for a lot of people. So him and Heyman, I think, neck and neck.
They are like what he was doing in the '80s. McMahon, you know something? He managed so many like bad people. Whoever Haku, Barbarian.
What about JJ Dillon, the Horseman? Horseman was just over, bro. Like,
he really need a manager. That's the thing.
Yeah. So, who y'all top 5 heels of all time? Ooh, what else we got on the NXT card? We can run through that real quick.
Run through that real quick. Sol Ruka, Fallon Henley, good match. Sol Ruka hits the Soul Snatcher.
Soul Snatcher.
But what was
Snatch my soul.
What was the look? Alright, I wouldn't even be mad at you, bro. You done missed a broadcast. Like, where you at? You getting the soul snatched. Well, hey, I'm king it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even be mad at you, man. But I forgot who ran out on him, and it made it a no contest. And I was like, oh shit. Oh, girl with the mask. Cody gave her the mask.
I'm starting to lose faith in Sol Ruka because she's. I think if they was gonna pull a trigger, they would have pulled it by now.
I think the WWE needs to pull the trigger on at least 2 or 3 of them to clear up the women's division NXT and
Sol Ruka on Monday Night Raw would be fire.
She'll definitely be over easily.
She's a highlight. But you know who else was a highlight? Ricochet, and we seen how that worked out. Now a women's speed champion with like a Sol Ruka who can do the soul snatch out of anywhere. A Lola Vice who can knock you out of anywhere, a Shayna Baszler who can choke you out. Like if the moves make sense, then it makes sense. Like,
man,
you just naming those 3, and I'm like, damn, I can see like they got to get a mid-tier title, just one though, because they're already doing pay-per-view matches on SmackDown or Raw. Because
they've given away a lot in the past 2 weeks. Because Ray and Dom, Zelina and Liv should have been pay-per-view matches. Then they did that like 2 weeks in a row. I guess to push the story along, but they gave away a lot the past 2 weeks.
I feel like they're like, man, we can't put all this on because we're trying to put this on pay-per-view. Like, we don't have room for this. We didn't really build up as well as we should have. What do you think?
They have room. I just think it's a production thing, right? Think about those old pay-per-views where we used to be maybe 2 hours. You would get 6, 7, 8 matches. Now we get a 3-hour pay-per-view with 5 matches. It's like every match don't have to be 30 minutes. We don't need 40 minutes of promos and repackaged things. And like, just get to it. But
we also don't need 100 finishers.
That too.
You know, and one haluva kick. to beat Brian Breaker and one spike to the neck to beat Cody Rhodes. Like,
take the one who the kick if everybody else is taking one finisher.
So after that, what we had, HP.
Oh,
after
and then
Sol Ruka,
Shawn Spears versus Trick Williams and Joe Hendry. I love it. I love what's going on with TNA, bringing these guys over and us going over there. However, I do not want to keep seeing, which this week, Joe Hendry got a victory with Trick Williams, which is a crazy combo too. But I don't want to see, remember it was getting to that point, like whoever goes on whoever's show, you're just taking an L.
Okay.
It was the TNA champ, Jordan Grace coming over, and then you know what I'm saying, like it was just I forgot who went over to NXT, but they took L's, or TNA. They took L.
Tatum answered the open challenge.
So it was great to see Joe Hendry come over here, and instead of getting eliminated first, this time he's teaming up with the former world champ to go against the current and another top contender in Shawn Spears. And they were beating the shit out of him at one point. Booker T ain't seems too sold on them either. He was like, I don't believe. Like, he was just
Booker T a hater sometimes, bro. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
You know, he trick bias.
And he's a company man. He's a company man. He's a WWE guy. Like, he know what he is. He's Stephen A. Smith. So he's going to stick to his company and his folks, which I'm not mad at, because you have to downplay Joe Hendry, because the most over man in your company is not even in your company.
That's a fact. I mean, I don't know.
So you got to make him look small, because the most over man in NXT is not on the NXT roster, and his name is Joe Hendry.
I mean, that's true. And he pulled more numbers than Jacob Fatu and
the Wyatt Six.
Right.
So let that be shit. Even the NXT episode we did, that was a high ranked episode that we did when he was on there. So it's like people was really looking for him. So again, Shinobi had a question, but we got to get to Vinny's, and also my thoughts on that match, because Ethan Page got run out of there by Osa. What's his name? Mensa. Osa. I'm just saying his name.
Mensa.
Yeah, thank you. He got run out because in the early part of the evening, he got escorted out during the early night.
I don't want to see him. I don't want to see that. Like, that's a step down for Ethan Page. Like, let's not do that.
Build it up, man. You got to find these guys some work, because Trick Williams got to either take Trick Williams out the title picture by getting him to feud with somebody else because somebody interferes, or something to distract him for a little bit before he gets that title back. You know what I mean? And then in the meantime, you got to have contenders for him.
Does he get the title back?
Hope so, but it's possible that maybe they say no because you want to promote so many people. There's so many stars down there, and maybe he's going to come up to the main roster pretty soon. We don't.
And see, that's the thing with the NXT roster being so deep. The TNA crossover makes it deeper. And again, the most over man in your company doesn't work for your company. So
yeah. And if it's one thing with like with Cody Rhodes, when he was trying to become champion, sometimes it shows the chase is usually better than when you get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So who's to say?
You know what it is? It's Game of Thrones.
Do that for Trick.
It's the first few seasons of Game of Thrones, and then we all know how that ended. Nobody liked the ending of Game of Thrones. Yeah, that's Cody Rhodes' title run. We saw it. Then the ending is it's like what? Like what is happening? So.
So Vinny had asked top 5 heels.
Wait, Obafemi, he got into it with Chase U, so we might see something there too. Shout out to Obafemi. Can't skip.
Oh no, next week it's Duke Hudson and Obafemi.
That's gonna be fire. That's gonna be fire.
That's a good one next week. So tap in for that. There's also I forgot the match, so I don't want to say it, but it's like the Rascals versus Gallus.
So next week NXT should be good. Tuesday night we will be live 5 minutes after NXT, unless it goes a little long like it did tonight. So 5 minutes after the show ends. Let's just say that. Yeah. Plus next Tuesday we are dropping a brand new double up. We dropped one today. If you didn't see the double up today, it's the Giant versus the Big Show. We drop double ups every Tuesday where we take one wrestler who was 2 characters, preferably around the Attitude Era time, and we compare them in WWE and WCW. Then we vote, and see who we think Jersey goes in the Attitude Era podcast rafters. We're gonna get to some questions and we're gonna get out of here. But NXT was good. The weekly shows have been really good, leading up into SummerSlam and Heat Wave and Money in the Bank and everything going into it. Definitely good wrestling going on your TVs. There's some good podcasting going on your phones and computers, TV, wherever you watching this at. Shout out to the YouTube fam, the Twitter fam. Slide over to YouTube and become YouTube fam because there's a lot going on. We about to hop into some questions. Which we got? Want to talk Vinny's first?
Yeah, we'll do Vinny's. That's why I left it on the screen just so I don't forget it.
Yeah, shout out to Vinny too. Added Vinny on the PS5. We do that too. We got some gaming going on over here. You want to game with us? Drop your PSN or your Xbox gamer tag, and we'll fuck with you. But Vinny says, who are y'all's 5 heels of all time? I guess top 5 heels. Oh man, who want to go first?
Top 5 heels.
Let me get my pen out because I can.
We ain't got. We could just talk, and I guess we'll get to 5.
Yeah, I don't know if I can give you straight up 5.
Top 5 heels.
I have Jason Roberts as well.
I got Brock Lesnar on my list because I think Brock Lesnar he just ruins the party for people.
Like ruined the fucking streak.
Yeah, he ruined the streak. Yeah. He ended Kofi Mania. Like he's definitely a heel.
I'm gonna say honestly, I'm gonna say Corporate Rock.
Corporate Rock.
Yo, Corporate Rock. Even though The Rock's like my top favorite wrestler of all time, during that phase, I hated him.
It's really hard at this. We say the top heels. I'm
just trying to think of heels right now.
Yeah.
I like how Vader came in the company when he came into WWE from WCW, and he took out Razor Ramon, and he also took out Gorilla Monsoon, who was like the acting president at the time. But unfortunately, he didn't get a run with the belt.
Who you said?
Vader. I also liked him as Big Van Vader in WCW. I thought 450-pound big man doing moonsaults and moving like he was. I was scared for people fighting Vader, bro. I was scared for people.
You know who I thought was dope as a kid, and he definitely was a heel because we talked about managers. I thought he had one of the best managers of all time, Mr. Fiji, Yokozuna.
Oh yeah, that was good. That's good.
Yokozuna was a great heel.
Banzai! Yeah, that was fire.
I'm gonna say Triple H was another good heel.
We're gonna come back to this question, Shinobi. I've been seeing this question. And Vinny, we're gonna come back. Hot facts. I'm gonna put that question back up for Shinobi and Vinny's. But salute to you, Hot Facts, as well with Robert Reese.
JBL definitely up there.
He is very underrated. That whole Shawn Michaels, like you're working for me, like I own you type of shit. That was kind of dope. Hot facts, and he got his out there pretty easy. Flair,
I was gonna say $1 Million Man because everybody has a price. $1 Million Man was.
Wait till I don't want to say too much again because we got it coming to the Patreon. It will be one of the shows.
Flair, Austin, King Kong, Bundy, Bray Wyatt. You got Bray Wyatt as a heel. Was Bray Wyatt a heel?
Yeah,
he was.
He's like one of the new age heels. It's like an anti-heel.
See, that's why that's a hard question for me because I'm thinking like right now, a lot of heels are tweeners. Like I was gonna say Randy Orton, but I don't think Randy is full-fledged heel.
Man, Randy Orton hunted the brains out of John Cena's dad, bro.
Yeah, I don't care, bro. Orton on that too.
And he spit, Randy Orton, and he spit on Mick Foley, bro. He was the first hot tour, like right in the face of fucking Mick Foley, bro. In the fucking shit. Oh my God.
You know what? Now that y'all, nothing's gonna top this. Kane did set Jim Ross on fire, but do y'all remember Big Boss Man took Big Show's dog, fed it to him, then took his dad's casket and drove it around the graveyard? Big Boss Man might be the heel of all time because that's treacherous. Like,
So
you know what I want to see? I want to see Homelander Cody. This is gonna be fucked up. I'm not even
You know
gonna
what
say
made me sad? When Earthquake sat on Jake the Snake's snake and made
it.
the toilet roll tissue out of the snake skin. That made me sad when I was a kid, man. I really believe that snake got squashed.
Yeah, I did too, and I hope
And
it
when the
did.
snake bit Macho Man's
I was
arm,
about to bring
oh,
that up
yeah,
because they said they did a test run with it because it was devenomized, and they said, "Look, Mach, Jake the Snake has that story on YouTube. Maybe we'll make a short out of it. It's funny as fuck." What the fuck? I don't even know how you write your name like that, but somebody with some thick, bold lettering. Brother Bar,
yeah.
yes. Shout out, brother Bar. I'm trying to read it.
I got it. Shout out to everyone in the chat, including Answer Our Podcast. Keep up the good work on the channel. Appreciate it. And shout out from the South Bronx, brother BKL, aka the sports entertainment guy.
Yeah. Shout outs to him.
BKL.
Yeah, thanks,
How
man.
he wrote his name like that though with that print. That's what I was trying to read.
Hey, he fancy.
I
He
think
from the Bronx. Man, I lived in the Bronx for a moment in time. Shout out to the Bronx.
But
do yourself a favor, learn Spanish.
You probably already know it. His name is Contreras.
The Bronx.
You might already know.
I mean, in general, if you want to maximize your experience in the Bronx, learn Spanish. Brother Love.
I didn't like Brother Love. I used to hate hearing him when he had the Brother Love show. Well, brothers and sisters, welcome to the Brother Love.
Shawn Michaels was a good heel.
He was a great heel.
In the ring and in real life.
I'm gonna say this person.
That motherfucker was never dropping titles. That motherfucker get a title belt and come up with any reason not to defend that.
Of course, Hollywood Hogan. Yeah. We're gonna have to.
That's what I was gonna say. Hollywood Hogan
Era podcast. We're gonna either have to do a bracket of heels and let people vote on it, or we just make a list of heels. Whatever y'all think will be better. Whether we make a list and vote, or we do like an NCAA style bracket. I'll make the bracket, find a way to get it to y'all. Then we could.
What's the next real life tournament?
Then we can get an answer to this and make it official. How y'all like that? Because now that I'm thinking about all these heels, man, it's some good heels in wrestling. That I'm thinking Honky Tonk Man comes up. He was smashing people with guitars. Again, the whole Ministry of Darkness. Kevin Sullivan was a great heel to me during that time. I like Raven and the Flock. Shane Douglas.
When I think of heels, like when you talk about top heels,
I'm gonna say Kevin Steen, not Kevin Owens. Kevin Steen, ROH shit.
See, you can go Eddie. How do we forget Eddie? Eddie.
I don't think Eddie's a top heel. Like I just think
Cheat Steel was his motto. What do you mean?
Yeah, but that's great. It gets you over as a heel. However, when I think about horrible heels, like my first one right off the top, who's in my top 5 for certain, is Jake the Snake Roberts. He did the majority of his career as a heel. 2, he locked the Ultimate Warrior in a fucking torture chamber with the Undertaker. He had his snake bite multiple people. He had the Cobra bite the Warrior. He ruined the fucking WrestleMania wedding between fucking Macho Man. Here I go on my Macho Man shit again.
What wedding didn't get ruined?
Yeah, but that was the first because it was the main event. It was a match made in heaven and a match made in hell. And
did Triple H drug Stephanie and marry her?
Yeah,
he in real life for cheating on.
Hey, wrestling, wow.
But on screen he was fired. Like Triple H is up there, but I mean I just know Jake the Snake and probably Randy Orton for punk kicking someone's dad, but spitting in the face of so many people. Mick Foley being one, like basically disrespecting you on purpose. I'm a legend killer, and then disrespecting you like.
I think the legend killer gimmick is one of the best gimmicks of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna hold you.
Randy needs the one more title run. He needs it. He deserves it.
I think there's 2 people who should all-time great beat that 17, become 17-0. And if you're not gonna do it with Cena, it needs to be Orton. Orton was your 3rd generation superstar. He was the youngest world champion that, you know what I mean? So therefore, what was he doing all this time? If he's your youngest, he's had the most time to get the most reigns in. So let him beat that stat packing Rick. I don't want to say it like that because Ric Flair's had a tremendous career, but again, he's one of the only guys that they count title reigns from other companies for, and then they say he's the top tier. He's got 16-time world champ. Jerry the King Lawler was running Memphis.
What Ric Flair did to you, man?
Title runs.
Yeah.
What Ric Flair do to you, man?
Nothing. I just don't like when people do that for him, because now in TNA they talking about he a 21 to so now we're gonna keep adding other come on, bro.
You know what it is? It's that Wilt Chamberlain 100-point game that magically was never televised. It wasn't recorded, and there's no pictures of. You had to be there. Some people say that game never happened, but it's that. It's the unwritten rules in sport. It's the legend of sport. It's sport, you know, and legends of sport is just a thing. Legends, legendary games, legendary moments. Like I said, Earl Manigault used to snatch quarters off the backboard. I've never seen it, but it's legend. It's sport. So also,
yeah, brother BKL, we got you. It was hard to read, but it's dope though. Like that you even got that text.
Sportainment guy. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's dope. And Vinny, Randy definitely. Randy, we're gonna make this list. I honestly would like to set up for like March Madness. We'll definitely have a tournament for something in March.
You know it's July, right?
Yeah, that's why I had to oh shit. But we got to figure out something. Maybe Survivor Series. That's still November.
I'll make the bracket, then we'll post it some kind of way. And we'll get it to y'all. Then y'all got to send it back. See, I send it back.
Oh, Archie. See, we doing too much. We doing too much on here.
I know what you're thinking. We'll talk.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're thinking. We like the Wonder Twins right now.
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly what you're thinking. And we're going to talk. We got to run it by the podcast chief, of course. Big Brother DNA, who would have been with us, but he's traveling right now. But he is on the newest episode that we dropped today of Double Up. So if you want some DNA, he's on that. He was on the recap last night. So
that was a double entendre of pause, bro.
Oh, he caught it.
He was like, pause on YouTube. So like, he caught it. I ain't catch shit. I'm just saying, my man was like, yeah. I got you.
Randy Crash Undertaker on Edge. Yeah, man. It's just it's a lot of good. I'm gonna make the bracket and we're gonna put it together. So anything else y'all got, fellas, before we get out of here? I'll talk all night. We like talking to the people.
I can do it too. I just got that coffee. Over.
Yeah,
and but, I got an old people's thermos of the shit. Like,
but you got the Stanley, bro. I put some coffee in the Stanley one time. It stayed hot. Listen. How long that stuff stay hot?
Like 3 days.
That stuff stayed hot for like 3-4 days. It stayed. No, it was actually hot chocolate. It stayed so hot in that thing for like those days that it spoiled because it never got cold or warm, and it spoiled in the Stanley. So this is not a promotion, but those things do what they say they're gonna do.
I swear I be wondering, because I drove to Jersey with this thermos and I put coffee when we left, and Jersey was 18 hours, and that coffee was hot.
Like you can't even enjoy it. Like it's not even enjoyable because it's the temperature it is when it comes out of the machine. So
wow. So but that's why I still got my thermos. Somebody gave it to me. That's how I know I'm not gonna say my age, but I got it for a gift. I don't want to keep promoting, so let me turn it. But it's a thermos. How about that? But yeah, we'll do that heels thing. We're gonna get that together, and then damn, that shit here. But yeah, NXT was fire. And more
NXT has a lot of good talent, and the only thing that scares me about when things are good in NXT, it rarely translates to the main roster. It rarely translates to it being as good, if not better, than main roster. We don't have other than we have the NXT champions. They normally do okay. At least if not right away, sometime down the line. Sometimes they come in real hot. Seth Rollins, Charlotte Flair, Bayley, Asuka, those type caliber people, they hit the main roster and they do well. But you have people who don't always survive the crossover, and we'll see what happens when a lot of these current NXT stars cross over to the main roster. So,
yeah, I'm for it too. I just want to know what they're gonna do with Trick. Are they gonna build up for Great American Bash? Because that's around the corner. That's their next big pay-per-view. Ethan Page versus Trick, or is it gonna be whatever. I almost said Vic Mensa, rapper out of Chicago. So shout out to him or whatever he's got. But
you like Vic Mensa?
Huh?
You like Vic Mensa?
I did for a little bit, for like 2 weeks. Oh, okay. You know, and it's not that he's bad. It's just I don't really like to listen to a lot of modern music like that. You know what I mean? That's why me and my son got that 5-5, and I'll get into that one day. But yeah, I thought NXT, if I had to rate it, I would say like a 7.5, which is cool. And that was more because honestly, the Joe Hendry and the Rascals coming out, you know what I'm saying?
NXT gives you a lot in 2 hours. They give you a lot. It's a lot of moving pieces in 2 hours of time.
You think Raw for 2 hours?
Me personally, I say yes.
I'm with you too, Gaman.
They don't give us that much wrestling on Raw.
They never have.
Yeah.
You know, you're 40 minutes max of what actual wrestle time, and that's a max. That's
that's an hour and 20 minutes. No, 2 hours and 20 minutes of what?
The bullshit. Promo. It's all promo. It's all promo. Stuff to just keep moving storylines forward. And it's been like that since Raw came. Like, you can go back to when Raw was 1 hour. There'd be like one match. The match would be 20 minutes, but then or you might have 2 or 3 matches. One match be 5 minutes, a match be 4 minutes. The main event be like 12, 13, 14 minutes. Everything else is promo. Moving storylines along, building to the next pay-per-view. So I would like to see it go to 2 hours, but NXT is packed. Joe Hendry was there tonight. The Rascals, what's their MSK? So now they reformed with Wesley, and next week we get Duke Hudson versus Obafemi. I look forward to that. Gallus versus the Rascals, essentially, because it's MSK back with Wesley. I would like to see Gallus win.
Gallus can wrestle. Like, those dudes are different. It was a group. Well, I like Gallus. I like Pete Dunne when he was in NXT. I like Tyler Bate. Like, all those guys, those UK, when it was NXT UK, what happened to NXT UK?
They brought them all over. A lot of those guys are like British accents and shit. So I think they just merged it all.
NXT UK was a lot. Ilya, like Walter Gunter came from there. He was like the biggest thing because I believe he didn't want to live in the US, but he was traveling. So he came over eventually. But NXT UK had a lot of talent over there. So,
but that's it. That's all I got. Hey, anybody else got any last minute quotes or notes?
Quotes or notes?
Look, I don't know if they did this yet for Ethan. If they need to make a merch for him to have like this is gonna be anime related. I'm gonna need like a Vegeta Ultra Ego inspired shirt of that, man.
I can see it.
I'm gonna need that.
But wouldn't that be like kind of like Wes Lee's thing though? Because Wes Lee's got like the anime, like, you know what I mean, like design around his, you know what I mean?
He do, but because of him having the whole ego persona, that could feed into that specific character.
Gotcha.
You like Ethan Page might need a little refresh too, because you're in the WWE now, bro. You have to look like all ego. You have to damn near be in $500 shirts like The Rock. Like, you have to look like it's all ego, like it's me. It's nothing else. It's me.
Yep, you gotta pull up like he got money. I mean, you know what? If he does that, he's gonna get more over with that character.
You gotta be. You either have to be all ego, or your ego makes you like, I don't even care about this title. I don't care about none of this. Like, I don't care about this. Like, where's the title? Oh, I don't know. I left it somewhere. Like, what? I don't care about this. It's not important. That's it. Where's
That would be crazy if he was to do that.
I'm only here to kick ass. And
that's it. I'm just here. I'm just here to disrupt. I'm not even here for that. I'm here for the money. That's it. I'm here for the money. Make it about. I just happened to win this title. Y'all see, I fell. Like he said, I fell into the title.
He did say that. I fell into the title.
I never asked for this. I didn't want to get paid.
Like, you see how nonchalant Orange Cassidy is? Not like his whole persona. Well, he just be like, chill.
Yeah,
be like nonchalant as him, but dress like you got money and just walk out like you don't give a fuck.
I might
hop on, Vinny. Depends on how long we go on this. Yeah, me and you friends. So if you see me hop on there, I might be on there tonight. Yeah, we working on something too. We gonna do. We're trying to get it to where we can include everybody in both systems in this thing we working on. So Xbox and PS5. I like Evans, but that slingshot across the whole ring to a diamond cutter, I don't like that.
I'm a Robert Reese on this one. And I think I might jump on 2K, but I got to jump on my son's joint. He probably already playing.
Yeah, so
he probably game now. He like, thanks, pops. I'm like, man, shit wasn't for you. Yeah, I don't got nothing else. Anybody? I shouldn't have said that on live. He might even be watching like right now. They start trolling. But that's it.
Yeah, I'm
looking at the notes, trying
to. Yeah, check your notes. I don't want to leave nothing out.
Oh nah, we here for the people, man. What we're gonna do? We're gonna get that bracket together. So we're working on the game and stuff. For those of you who don't know, new in Twitter land, slide over to YouTube, because on YouTube is where everything is at. It's a link to the Patreon. On the Patreon is a bunch of exclusive stuff. I'm not gonna run you through it, but it's a bunch of exclusive stuff on there. But on the YouTube channel, we drop new episodes of Double Up every Tuesday. We go live 5 minutes after every WWE event. After the show ends, we are 5 minutes live after the show ends. Tonight NXT went a little long, so we came on 5 minutes after the show. And so Raw, SmackDown, NXT, after the show ends, we're live 5 minutes after that. PLEs or pay-per-views, whichever you prefer, 5 minutes after that, we're live. The day of, or maybe the day before, we drop predictions for PLEs, and we recap things that's going on. We recap Who Killed WCW. We recap WrestleMania 40 Behind the Curtain. So anything wrestling related, WWE related, Attitude Era related, we are on it. The newest episode of Double Up is The Giant versus The Big Show. Gamaj got a new interview with Gilbert on the page. And
Gilbert.
Yeah. So, and he did another one, and you're gonna see him. That's our man on the street. If it's anything move, Gamaj is on it. Shinobi, thank you for tuning in, man. We thank you for all guys time to man. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Appreciate y'all.
Again, if you're on Twitter, if you're following us, thank you. If you're not, follow. Then slide over to YouTube, Attitude Era Podcast, and be part of the 10,000 subscribers that we have, because we on our way to 20. So shout out to the 10,000. And when we hit 10,000, DNA dropped the freestyle, the giveaways. Like, it was a celebration, because we
didn't do. I don't think we officially, because he dropped a hint. He's on traveling business right now, or you know what I'm saying. But we gotta, when he gets back.
We're just celebrating y'all, because y'all, check us out and y'all rock with us and what we doing. And yeah, man, shout out to Vinny. Yeah, Vinny's on the PS5 with us. We game, so check us out on there, and we just do this because we enjoy it and we enjoy y'all talking to y'all. Any last words, fellas? Again, I'm D. Archie Carter, Southeast.
Shout out to Shinobi, shout out to Vinny, shout out to
Eric, Hot Take, also
Hot
Saucy,
Facts,
who's
Robert
normally
Reese.
with us. She's probably off doing something, who knows. But see, we get to know y'all. So y'all our people now. We family. So y'all part of the Attitude Era podcast family. Gamaj, you got anything before we get out of here?
No, man. Appreciate the support, and it's only gonna get better from here.
Oh yeah, HP, what you got? Uh-oh. You reach into a bag of tricks. I don't know what he got going on here. Oh man, see, HP got something coming real special for.
Yo, I'm telling you, please tap in. Definitely support on all channels. Hit the notification bell, like, comment, and subscribe. Even the Patreon, that's where it's gonna be the exclusive stuff where you see like little hints didn't drop.
Yeah, we revamping the Patreon, we revamping the tiers. We're gonna make it more accessible, more user friendly, and more easier on your pockets. If we really being honest, because like I said, we doing this for y'all. So I mean, I ain't got much, but like I said, check us out 5 minutes after anything. WWE. This is the Attitude Era podcast. DNA is on the new double up. He might be with us Friday. He's traveling. The man is traveling. Let me tell you something. When y'all see what he traveling for,
yeah. Hey, hardest working guy I know. I ain't like we work hard too, so it's pretty kind of equal. But he also got to take some breaks too, because you know what I'm saying. If you don't know, he's got the URL thing that's still a thing for him. He's got the new podcast with Goods. That's the thing. You can catch him on TikTok. That's the thing. The man is making moves. He's always
got to get Money Drink Water brand, the Good Money Drink Water clothing line. He's doing music for Power. Just got a new song on Kanan. Like the guy's busy, and but he does show up. He showed up last night. He's traveling. You know, when you're traveling, you don't always have access to things, and you know where he was at today. I just know it was like some animals and safaris, and it might not have had no Wi-Fi where DNA yet. I don't know,
probably
but
not.
but we here. We got Wi-Fi. We're gonna see y'all Friday. Was it 5 minutes after SmackDown ends? Right here, Attitude Era Podcast. That's Gamaj. That's King HP. I'm the Archie Carter. And in the words of DNA, if he was here, what would he say, HP?
Good night.